One one's all about the books that I read for the last 40 years, and today I have my special guest. She is a PhD in finance, teaching practical long term investing, and no other than Dr. Danica Cicmil.
Hello, Daniel. Really nice to be here.
Welcome on Book 101, Dr. Danica. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Yeah, shortly to mention, I worked as investment manager for like almost 10 years now. Besides that, I finished PhD in finance, and now I'm happily sharing the knowledge about investing long term.
Investing in the long term. We like that, Dr. Danica. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom in the world. And today, let's talk about how to invest without checking your portfolio every day. Let's diagnose the itch. What is the core psychological driver behind the compulsion to constantly check our portfolio? Is it a fear, greed, or need to control, or something else in digital age?
I would say it's really fear because people have such a huge loss aversion that from that fear to lose their money, especially it's like hard earned money, they tend to constantly check and check portfolio. Like you said, it's literally daily checking and multiple times. And if you do investing, that shouldn't be the case. People who check daily portfolios are traders, and then they try to really make profit on a daily price movements. But if you invest long term, you shouldn't check your portfolio. You should really be able to sleep well at night and check your portfolio once or twice a year just to revisit it.
Mm-hmm. Twice a year, people, is advisable. Not every time. Beyond anxiety, what are the real financial costs of being a daily checker?
That is besides the time waste, it's stress. Like we get to stress every day we go to check our account. So before that, let's say before making any investment, we need to make decision in what we're going to invest in order to feel safe and not to have this need to check daily. And that comes something that is called risk profile that each of us need to define with what kind of risk we are really feeling okay with without the need to check daily portfolio.
Mm-hmm. Not to check every day, people. So, how has the rise of commission free trading apps with push notifications designed our brains for addiction? And how can we consciously deprogram that response?
Okay, so first would be once you create your portfolio, right? You need to be sure is the one that fits your goals, your risk profiles. And the best thing you can do is to do automated transfer of the money so that you actually don't even need to go to app. You do automatic, so you say every 20th of the month when I receive my paycheck, then 20% out of it goes directly to my saving account that is then invested in the, let's say, ETFs I chose.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also turn all notifications off so that you don't get disturbed. And actually, you're the one who is in control. And you go to the app to check when you want, not when the app is calling you.
Mm-hmm. Good idea, Dr. Danica. Good idea. So the foundation building set and forget strategy. Dr.
Yes.
Danica, what are the non-negotiable pillars or investment plan that is truly designed to be ignored?
So the non-negotiable is that you need to have your core portfolio. So that it assures you that over the 10, 20 years, you're going to be having positive returns. That means that monthly, yearly fluctuations can happen, but you need to be able to keep not doing emotional investing because investing is everything but following your emotions, right? So we should follow data, we should follow analysis, but not our emotions. So emotions really need to be as low as possible when investing.
As low as possible. So, Dr. Danica, how does embracing true long term thinking fundamentally change what we consider news versus irrelevant noise in a daily market movement?
This is really good one. We live in a world of information, right? We
Yes.
have more information that I think our brain can really process. And that is what is important, that we don't do any kind of investing based on what we read. And especially if you see in some newspaper that some stock is like good, or like it's a huge hype about stock, it
Mm-hmm.
means just that you're too late, because if it's already all over the newspaper, you're too late. So that would be definitely my advice. Don't invest based on the titles of newspaper or whatever online is anyone recommending. The best thing is always do your own research.
Yes, research first, people. For the hands on person, what is a healthy quarterly or annual check in ritual that satisfies the need to review without triggering the urge to meddle?
So what is the beauty about it? If you really don't check your account for a few months and you enter, you see the increase in value, right? If you chose
Yes.
properly, you see that uptrend that makes you motivated to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see some, let's say, dip in the market, you can see why it happened. You should follow a bit what's going on, and as long as, like, you don't need to allow yourself also those negative fluctuations to tell you sell. So even in the deeps of the markets, you need to be consistent and to trust your strategy in the first place why you invested. That is why investing feels a lot of like a really emotional, is how people go through the downturn phases.
Mm. Yes, definitely. And the dollar cost averaging is often called the investor's sleeping pill. Why is it automating your contributions into diversified portfolio a single most powerful behavioral finance hack for peace of mind, Dr. Danica?
This is what I mentioned at the beginning, is automated transfer of the money into the saving account you choose. So in that sense, once you made that automatization, you don't need to think how much money I have, how much I need to invest, this or that. It means the moment you receive salary, the amount you selected goes directly to your investing account. And what happens is something that is called compounding effect, is that, let's say on your 100 euro, you earn certain percentage, let's say 7 8% on one ETF over a year. But then the more money you add, the compounding is stronger, because it is calculated on the new sum that is now bigger than the previous one. And for compounding effect to work, we need to be consistent and we need to let time work. So the sooner we start, the better, and more consistent we are, the better, because only in that case, compounding really works.
Compounded for sure, compounded indeed. So, what are the best practical outside of mind or out of mind techniques like deleting apps or using password manager with long and complex password or setting up account alerts only for major actions?
Yes, let's say deleting app wouldn't be solution, right? You still need to have that app account. It makes you feel still in control of your money. But
Hmm.
for me, the solution actually starts before investing. I think in the moment you understand how it works, in what you're investing, and you set that automated monthly investment, that you might check a few times, but then afterwards, when you see there is nothing crazy going on overnight, you just stop doing it by yourself. So, in order not to end up in that situation, you need to do proper preparation beforehand. And then afterwards, it's really smoothly. You just see how your portfolio is growing.
Hmm. Growing and growing and growing. So,
Yes.
how can we technology as a tool to calm, not anxiety? Are there a portfolio tracking methods or tools that provide a long-term view without showing a daily fluctuations?
So there are like many tools, but let's say just for the compound intake, you can find online so many calculators just to see how your portfolio will look like if you invest for the next 10, 20, 30 years. You can just type online compounding interest calculator and play around it. And you can see if you invest, I don't know, 100, 2 or 300 euro monthly, what effect it has over 10, 20, 30 years. So there are tools. But about the daily fluctuation, that's really important. Once you invest long term, 10 years plus, you need to be aware that there are going to be periods when your returns are going to be slightly negative, positive, so on and so forth. What is important there to check is actually historical data. You check the 5 years return, 10 years return, 1 year return. So the point is that when you make your decision, you make it based on historical data, and that's it. And then you just enjoy while your portfolio is growing, and you literally really sleep well at night. You don't have stress during the night because you understand that the market is cyclical. You understand that the economy goes up and down. For you, it's just important to stay long enough not to make losses and not to sell. If you see the prices going down, please don't sell. Please. That is actually when you make loss.
Mm-hmm. Don't sell people yet. You need to hold. Yeah.
Hold until you are in profit.
Yes, need to hold. As Warren Buffett said, invest like a pro. Okay, so how do embracing a long-term thinking 20 or 30 plus years fundamentally change what we consider news versus irrelevant noise for our investing?
Yeah, so news is really something that for long term investors, today's news is completely irrelevant. And
Mm-hmm.
when you understand that, because what is happening today has almost no influence what's going to be in 30 years. So, with news, be careful. I'm not saying not staying informed, that is completely different, just saying not to make investing decisions based on news.
Mm-hmm. So, how can we use technology as a tool to make us more, let's say, not to worry?
Hmm. Technology, well, what can you do? What definitely I assume it's already widespread. When you do your research about specific, let's say, index or stock, you can use AI tools that are going to help you with the research, can help you with some historical data, maybe can help you with calculation of the certain ratios. You can use AI to speed up your research process and to help you make your informed decision.
Mm-hmm. So, Dr. Danica, the storytelling nature of financial media creates a narrative around every blip. How do we build immunity to those stories and focus on our own data, like savings rate, time horizon, or allocation?
So first, we need really to be aware in what we are investing. So don't invest in something you don't understand, because if you do so, you're going to be more triggered by what is going on online, right? So if I buy some Let's say now example crypto that I have no idea what it is, how it works, and then I base all my trading strategy based on the news. It's really difficult to control yourself. Like I like to take example of the Bitcoin that is now at like 70 something thousand. A few months ago was 130,000. So if you were really selling and buying based on the news, you could make huge losses, really huge losses. So the best tip there is before you invest, really know in what you're investing. You understand it, understand the industry, understand what is behind. Don't go just don't just waste your money on something um, just like that.
For the goal oriented investors, how does shifting focus from portfolio value to contribution rate provide more empowering or controllable metric?
What do you mean about contribution rate?
Let's say how much you save for.
So there are so many different principles around budgeting. What some, let's say, basic principle is that you should be able 20% of your income to put on aside. I say if
Mhm.
you're not able 20, do 10. Like because what matters is really that consistency. So and I'm sure independent how much one earns, the 10% should be really manageable. And that is why it's really great that you put immediately that 10% in the saving account that invest in selected ETFs or the portfolio you build. And in that case, great. There are
Mhm.
people who are able to save more, and that is really amazing. Then they're really able to see results faster.
Dr. Danica, as a finance teaching practical, what are your short term and long term goals?
In investing,
Yes, please.
so for investing, my long-term goal is having additional pension. So I want in one moment when I retire that I have a certain amount of money that is going to, uh, let's say, help me for the pension days without thinking it, because that is a huge problem in many countries, that people reach 65, 67, they go to pension, their income gets split in half, and they have really challenges. So the first part of the portfolio is long-term growth, which is really based on world ETFs that brings you stability and diversity. So you're really well diversified, whatever happens. So that is my, let's say, 30 plus years goal. Beside that, I have a short term, which is focused on value stocks. So once you are secured, let's say you're secured your financial future with the base portfolio, you can then go into more advanced or more risk portfolio building, and that there is my focus on growth stocks. Shortly, just to say that difference between value and growth stocks. Value stocks are already the stocks that for companies that are on the market for long enough, and they don't have expectation of a huge increase in value in price, while the growth stocks are at really early stage and more risk.
Good luck to your goals, Miss Danica, and looking forward for more success. And what will be a piece of advice for those people out there who want to be like you?
So definitely to start with one core portfolio that is for your long-term growth.
Long-term growth. That's what we
Yes.
like.
Yes.
Miss Danica, we like that. And can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Yes, definitely. That is Think and Grow Rich for Napoleon Hill. For me, this is a book that I would recommend to everyone to read at least once in a life, because
Mm-hmm.
it has such actionable steps how to build your goals and how to go towards them.
Thank you, Dr. Danica, for that inspiring recommended book. It's highly recommended, people. It's classic. Definitely classic. So, when you describe for a constant monitoring a sign that someone should not be self managing and would be benefit from using a trusted advisor or a fully automated robo advisor to act as a behavioral coach.
I need to say personally about robot advisors, you can use it, but as I said, you really need to understand what is going on. So you should be the one making a decision at the end of the day, and being fine with that. I
Mm-hmm.
don't say to follow anyone's advice. I don't say don't follow mine. Do your own research based on what you learn, because it's your money at the end of the day.
Yes, it's your money, people. So, Dr. Danica, paint the picture. What are the tangible benefits, financial and emotional, for the investors who successfully makes this shift? What does the financial peace of mind actually look and feel like?
Yeah, it's just that once you have it, you feel like once you build your portfolio, you can reach that peaceful state of mind because you know that in any moment you need money, you have it. So it brings a certain peace of mind knowing that you have it. So I would highly encourage everyone who didn't start investing to start as soon as possible, and with nice research beforehand.
Dr. Danica, to wrap up our discussion for today, final piece of wisdom. If you could give one mantra or mental model to hold on to when the itch to check arises, what would it be?
So this is more like say mindset technique. We live in a time that we are craving dopamine boost constantly, right? Like that's why
Mm-hmm.
we check phone, that's why we scroll. Is before you do any of these activities, the same as checking your broker account, is to stop yourself from doing it. You don't do it in this moment. You say, okay, you sit down and you say, I'm going to check in 5 minutes. Just to postpone that moment, and you're going to see sometimes you will just forget and don't check it.
Interesting, Dr. Danica. So, can you please invite the listeners to support your advocacy, your business, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Yes, right now I am forming a mentoring group that would be one-on-one coaching for like over the period of 90 days, where we start from day one and until day 90. Clients, or let's say students, they will be able to go over their fears, and they're going to be able to have created their portfolio and sleep well.
Yes, sleep well and don't worry about your portfolio because earning by millions, by billions.
Yeah, let's say about millions if you start investing for the period of 30, 40 times with compounding a nice monthly sum, it is more than manageable.
Definitely. So, Dr. Danka, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Daniel, so much. And yeah,
Marticam people, see you soon.